Hi, I'm Kevin, a speech-language pathologist here at Super Duper Publications. And this is Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat. This is going to be an open-ended game board product that you can use throughout the entire year. This is going to indicate different picture scenes that include different celebrations, famous Americans' birthdays, national observances, holidays, as well as special school days. So you can use these game boards throughout the entire school year, and not only that, you can use them for any activity that you're working on. For speech therapy, we can work on articulation, language, voice, fluency, whatever activity, and we can use these game boards for motivation purposes using the magnetic chips. For instance, this is the Welcome Back to School Chipper Chat board, and you'll notice that all of the circles around are going to have identified objects that you find in the school. So this way the student can not only practice the skill that they're working on, but each time they earn a magnet or a chip, they can put it on here and name the items as well. So you're building vocabulary skills along with the skill that you're targeting. You notice in the instruction booklet, for example, with the Back to School, we're going to have the picture of the game board, then we have the directions for play, also favorite features of the game as far as like school-related activities, and then also we're going to have extenuating or extension activities that you can have to provide extra practice for spontaneous speech for the students. For example, once they practice their skills, then we can go along and say, well, tell me about your summer vacation. What new school supplies did you buy for school this year? And etc. So that you can make this activity more appropriate and more functional for the student because you're bringing that personal aspect in for them. This is going to be included for each and every game board as you see here. So each time you allow the students to choose a game board, the instructions are right there for you to progress with that. So how do you play Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat? Well, you can use this once again with any activity that you're going to be targeting, any skill for language, articulation, math, whatever activity we're using. The students will be provided a prompt, and upon appropriate responses, the students will then take the die, they will roll it, and then they will choose that number of chips to put on their game board. So for example, with this, for 2, they will take 2 chips and place them on the game board. Now, this game will continue in turn all the way around, and each student will continue to earn chips and place them on their game board until the entire game board is filled. So once the students have their game board and all the chips on there, then they will take the magic wand and use this magic wand to then let the chips fly up, and they will pick up all their chips after they've completed the game. And a second variation to use is using chips for auditory cues to provide additional reinforcement for the student when they provide an appropriate answer. And how we do this is we're going to use a separate cup or a bowl, something that you can actually drop the chips down in so that the students can hear this chip bouncing, and that way they get an auditory reinforcement cue along with their visual cue of earning a chip. Another variation to use is using more than one game board. And the way we do this is by giving the students a chip for every correct response. Each response that the student gives, we will then provide a chip for them so that the game is going to move a lot quicker. So if they're getting a chip for each correct response, you notice the game is going to move along at a pretty rapid pace. That way, the students not only can use one game board during the therapy session, they can actually use another game board, 2 game boards, 3 game boards, etc. But they're going to be provided that visual reinforcement, the opportunity to actually participate more in the therapy session by choosing and putting their own personal perspective to the game boards. A third variation that you can use with these open-ended game boards is to use them with your testing to provide a more comfortable environment for the students so that you can relieve some of that testing tension that they may have and some of that uneasiness that they may have being in a new environment and a new experience for them. We can use the different game boards to provide them with that comfort in each task that they complete. They get a chip so they actually feel a bit of participation and reward instead of just being in a testing environment. Another thing that we can use for this is use magic numbers. This can be chosen by the therapist, by the students in your group, etc. to where before we play the game, we will identify a number, say 1, 2, or 3, since those are the numbers that we're going to have on our die. You can actually have the students choose a number. So if they choose a 3, then each time they play the game and they roll a 3, then that means they're going to get the 3, plus they'll get an extra bonus chip for successfully rolling the magic number of the game. Like I said, this game can be used throughout speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and even in our instruction booklet, we include tips for those different therapies as well. If you'll notice here, on this page, we're going to have speech therapy. And for speech and language therapy, we're going to work with articulation, auditory processing, language, stuttering, and voice. And we provide different suggestions on how to use the magnetic chipper chats with those therapy activities. Also, you'll notice here in the purple, we have occupational therapy. This was going to be in-hand manipulation, correct letter formation, palmar arching, drawing shapes, as well as dressing skills. And then, of course, for classroom lessons as well, because this is going to be appropriate for any activity that you're using. Like I said, either math activities, writing activities, using capital letters, anything that's going to provide a motivation and successful opportunity for the student's education, you can use these game boards for reinforcement. Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat includes 40 themed game boards, 100 magnetic chips, magnetic wand, and a large die. It includes an instruction booklet, and it comes in a sturdy tin with divider cards to keep your game boards organized. If you'd like to learn more details about Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat, please visit us at superduperinc.com for more details, or visit our Facebook page and share your ideas on how you would use Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat in your therapy.
It's Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat, the magnetic game that goes clickety-clack. First you put the chips down, then you wave the magic wand. It's Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat fun. Holiday and Seasonal Chipper Chat fun.